Welcome back to News Network. We're actually taking a closer look at our series that we're starting. We're going to be assisting students to perfect their English grammar, as well as taking a look at a list of the 600 most common words that are actually found on the TOEFL as well as the SAT exams. This is going to be an ongoing series that we're going to be adding thanks to News Network. So, without further ado, we can actually get into the structure of this series, and you can anticipate regular live streams of this content periodically over the next few weeks and months as we prepare for the next exam dates. So here we are we're with the beginning of Volume 1, Chapter 1, and we're actually going to be taking a look at six of the most prominent grammar skills: subject, verb, agreement, adverbs and frequency, the use of adverbs, the use of negatives, comparisons, as well as simple present. And we are going to look at 12 of the most common words found on these exams, and we'll continue to look at some of the more common and more frequently called hot words found on these exams to increase your vocabulary as well as to help you fine-tune your grammar skills going forward. So we're actually going to take a look at subject and verb agreements, and we can see basically that is going to be a subject of a sentence must always agree with the verb that is being used. So for an example, my cousin goes to work, or my cousins go to work. So that would be an example of a subject-verb agreement where the subject of the sentence must always agree with the verb that's being used. Our next grammar style would be adverbs and frequency. You have indefinite frequency and definite frequency. The differentiation is how many times the action happens. So one example would be she travels very often by train to work, to go to work, which would be indefinite. And an example also, she uses the train every day to go to work, which is definite. So when it comes to adverbs and frequency, there is a difference as far as an indefinite frequency versus definite frequency. So those are the two options as far as the first two on this list as far as the grammar skills are concerned. With respect to the use of adverbs and the use of negatives, we can actually take a look here. The use of adverbs, words or phrases that describe verbs. They basically modify how something gets done. So use of adverbs would be easily versus easy, or careful versus carefully. As you can see, the adjective is plus ly depending on the usage. With respect to the use of negatives, you will use a negative to change a verb from positive to negative with a plus not. So do plus not don't, did plus not didn't, will plus not won't. The use of negatives is used to change the meaning, reflecting that it is not true. With respect to comparisons and simple present, we can actually look and see with respect to simple present, we can actually see that comparisons, you can use adjectives in a comparative form to compare differences or similarities, or compare two or more objects. So here you see the difference between comparisons where you have an adjective, comparative, or superlative. So in this case would be hot, hotter, or hottest, and that will be comparisons. And you'll see this very, very common when you're actually reviewing your grammar skills when you're preparing for the SAT or TOEFL with respect to comparisons. And we will get in more advanced techniques as far as perfecting your English grammar, and also taking a look also at business English and common terms used there. Simple present is a concept behind to express the idea that an action happens often or usually, and it is usually continuously repeated. So an example of this would be Lisa speaks Spanish, or Joan dines out, or Tim likes sushi. So that would be an example of a simple present. And those are the six grammar styles that we'll be covering in Volume 1, Chapter 1. We should take a closer look at 12 of the more common words that appear on previous exams. Going through previous exams for TOEFL and SAT, we're going to highlight 12 of these common words and what they mean. We'll take a look at their synonyms as well as adjective, as well as noun, and so forth. So if we take a look and take a look at adverse, the usage may sound something like this. You may suffer an adverse effect from this drug. An adjective meaning bad or displeasing or unfavorable. Synonym would be unfavorable. An adjective would be adversely. A noun would be more considered to be adversity, and also an adversary. So to always remember adversity or adversary, or an adjective adversely, basically meaning bad or displeasing or unfavorable. As far as benefit is concerned, a usage would be one of the main benefits or of exercise is a sense of calm. Adjective meaning useful or good for you. And with respect to benefit, a common synonym seen on the exams would be the word assist, with an adjective beneficial, or a noun benefit, or even a beneficiary as beneficiary on a trust. So be aware of a possible synonym swap on some of these exams with respect to the word assist. When it comes to dictate, we do have usage. My supervisor dictated many requirements for 1 hour lunch. And in this case, a verb meaning to state demands or rules. A common synonym for the word dictate is impose, with an adjective of dictatorial, and a noun, dictator. So those are common, but you should always look to see if there's going to be a synonym of impose as far as to state demands or rules, which is quite common. With respect to other words, you'll probably see the word diligent, also demeanor or enlighten. If we take a look at those, we can actually see that with respect to diligent, usage would be you went about doing your job with diligence. Adjective meaning persistent or determined to perform. A diligent, you would very common to see synonyms, and you should very much pay attention to the synonyms with respect to the word conscientiousness. A possible noun would be diligence, or an adjective diligently, and it basically means persistent and determined to perform. Demeanor, a usage. The gentleman in the restaurant had a wonderful demeanor. Noun meaning the manner of conducting oneself or behavior, and the noun reference to this would be with respect to, or synonym would be conduct. So it would have to be with respect to conduct. You may see a common synonym with respect to that. As far as enlighten, the usage, he was enlightened to learn about the volcanic eruption. With respect to a synonym, possibly is instruct, and a noun would be enlightenment, or adjective would be enlightened. With respect to a verb meaning to give information or to make aware. So those are actually the first 6 on this list. It will be very common for you to actually see these actually on the exams, the TOEFL or the SAT exam. If we take a look at fertile, we can actually see that with respect to fertile, this refers to usage. The soil in this area of the valley is very fertile. Adjective meaning capable of abundant production. A synonym that's very common with the word fertile is rich. A verb would be fertilize, noun fertility, or noun fertilizer. So that will be, if you were to see the word rich, it would be a synonym for the word fertile. For a flaw usage, there is one major flaw in his theory. And noun meaning usually means there's an error or a problem, but a very common synonym for the word flaw is defect. And an adjective would be flawed, but it usually means that there is an issue or there's something incorrect with respect to a certain type of something. Also, with respect to the word intrigue usage, the owner of the restaurant was intrigued by the meat's quality. And in this case, intrigue, a synonym would be fascinate. A noun would be intrigue, something is very interesting or fascinating. And even an adjective would be intriguingly, or an adverb would be intriguingly, or an adjective would be intriguing. So that would be the first 9 of these 12 that we're actually looking at this particular time. We just reviewed fertile, flaw, and intrigue. The next that we're going to be looking at would be oblivious, propensity, and reciprocate. And those are three of the 12 that we're going to be reflecting on today. Oblivious, the usage, the gentleman was oblivious to the extent of the damage. Adjective, meaning, or synonym, we should start with a synonym. A common synonym for oblivious would be ignorant, and a noun would be obliviousness, or an adjective would be obliviously. But it basically means to be aware of something. This word commonly pops up on these exams, but always remember the synonym if you have a trouble remembering oblivious, which is ignorant, to be unaware of something. Propensity, the usage. The student has a propensity for failing to study for exams. With respect to the noun, an inclination for an action, or leaning towards a certain type of action. Common synonym would be tendency. So you may see the word propensity swapped with the word tendency. Reciprocate, usage, he reciprocated by giving a $10 donation. A synonym would be respond. As far as a verb is concerned, to give something in return. So those are the 12 words that we're actually looking at this particular time with respect to our first volume and chapter with respect to perfecting English grammar. We hope this has been of help for you. If you have any questions or comments, of course you can post them in the comment box, and then always make sure that you log into our website to download our list of the top 500 scholarships. We try to update that list regularly, and you'll also be able to get the very latest information with regards to the top list of those scholarships going forward for 2021 and 2022. So good luck, and please make sure that you subscribe and look for Volume 1, Chapter 2, which will be live streamed momentarily. And thank you for tuning in to Bow News Network for our perfect English grammar tutorial. Have a great day.